This time we will be looking at Jake as he's doing some speed work by running 300-meter repeats. To give some context on him, he's actually training for a 200-kilometer race, but he includes one hard workout a week. This is one of those hard workout sessions for him as he's running at a relatively high intensity. Now, in this session, he's running at 180 steps per minute. This is actually a little less than I would expect for a higher intensity pace. However, this is not something I would change as this would most likely not do anything significant in regards to performance. The next thing we will look at is the foot strike. In this specific session, he presents with a very slight forefoot strike with an occasional midfoot strike. This kind of landing targets more of the calf muscle rather than the knee joint. This is typically more seen in higher intensity paces. Just remember that mechanics change based on the relative pace as he actually lands more around the midfoot during slower runs. The next thing we will look at is the foot landing relative to the body. Here he presents with a shank angle of around 2 degrees. Based on this, he does not present with overstriding, which is good as landing too far ahead of the body can increase stress on the joints and decrease running efficiency. The next thing we will look at is the vertical bounce. Here he presents with no excessive vertical movement. It may seem like a little more, but that's because the camera in this specific part of the clip seems to be tilted slightly upward, which can exaggerate the movement. Again, decreased vertical oscillation is typically seen more in higher level runners. Now let's look at the upper body. Here he presents with an upright trunk. He does have a slight arch in the back, but again, this is not significant enough to prioritize. Moving on to the arm swing, he seems to have an appropriate amount of it. However, not as much as I'd expect considering the context of the run as it is a high intensity pace. Remember that one of the rules of the arm swing is to balance out rotational forces that come from the force produced from the legs. This rule seems to be shared a bit more from the trunk as he does present with a bit more twisting than I'd expect. Now with this in mind, he can try increasing arm swing and this may decrease trunk rotation here. But again, this is something to try and may not have much of an impact on his performance. Finally, let's look at the head. Here he looks straight ahead with pretty much a neutral head position, which is good. Overall, he presents a decent running form at this pace. However, he could try tweaking his arm movement as I mentioned earlier. And that's it for the quick breakdown.